Hey everyone, so this is my channel, and last night was a 2-hour premiere of Grey's Anatomy. I'm not wearing the shirt because it doesn't fit. I really hope the mic is picking up okay here, because if it's not, it's a really big issue. But yeah, this is just like the new way I will film. I will show you the wall another time properly, but I don't have the actual chair that I was using, so I can't. But anyway, so I'm going to start by saying it contains spoilers, because it does. I know I normally do a reaction to the first episode, but last night I couldn't because I wasn't sure if my links were going to work, and they did, but that's not the point. Okay, so let's start off by saying there was a thing on Twitter last night with the show, and it was Josephine Wilson and Alex Quotev. They are now back together, well, I think, but there was a lot of because they kissed. It's a big thing because they're the power couple and they've not been together since Christmas, and everybody's just been really tweeting Shonda the writer saying, can we put Joe Alex back together now? And Camilla has been receiving a lot of tweets that have said, you know, they need to get back together because this has happened and this has happened, but obviously it hasn't, and now we think it has because they kissed last night. But let's start from the beginning. So it's their 300th episode, which is really good. So, you know, credit to them for that. But I'm going to say it was probably all about sibling power and girl power last night. And there was a lot of that, which was quite nice to see, because a lot of TV shows don't do that. It's mainly based on couples. But we had Megan Hunt come back from the dead, presumably. She was presumed dead after she went to war. Like, Owen returned, everyone else returned apart from Megan. And obviously it was presumed that Megan was dead. Megan isn't, because there was a call on the finale last time where it said, oh, you know, we've found Megan, and they brought her over to Sloan Memorial. And Megan is played by an actress called Abigail. I can't remember her last name, but it's by Abigail. Absolutely incredible. She really is really incredible. She's funny. I found that out, but the character's really funny. So yeah, Megan is a very funny character. She tends to pick on Owen, and she's like, to Meredith especially, she was like, so which one of Owen's wives did you like the best? She can't answer that for reasons, because one of them was her, like, her person, as they say, her best friend, but it's not, because she then left, and now the other one is actually her, like, sister-in-law. So that's why I said it's like sibling power as well. She couldn't answer that question, but obviously Megan missed a lot. So Megan was like, well, I didn't know this happened or anything like that, but it did. So yeah, that happened. But and obviously there was, I think his name's Hunt. I'm not sure. I don't think it is. I can't remember the guy's name. But he's like dating Meredith, and then he's not, because Megan's back and he actually dated Megan first. So he wanted to be with Megan, I think, but I don't think Megan did actually want to be with him in the end. So, yeah. Meredith was in charge of doing Megan's surgery as well. So there was a really loads of plot twists in there. With that, just that one scene was like a whole load of different things. And Owen and Amelia were actually being coupley. For once, they never are acting in love, but for once in front of Megan, they were acting like they wanted to be together. But we all know, if you've watched it before, that there's something going on in that relationship, and they're not liking married life. And with Owen, it never works out. And Amelia's only ever been with one other person that she's really liked, and that ended badly. So, you know, it's not the best. But yeah, so I really like Megan Hunt. I think she's really funny, and I think if she's in coming episodes, it would just be a really good for episode. She's really funny, so yeah. But I don't know if she will be, because I think there was talk where in the scene she actually said she wants to go back to Iraq, or Iraq as people call it, to fight the war, because that's where she feels like she belongs. She has a kid out there and everything. So I don't think she is staying around, but we'll see. So another thing is, obviously, best friend power and everything else. There's all her best friends. Jo lost her best friend Stephanie. Stephanie was in the last episode, and she was like the big part of that episode. They normally make exits all based around that one person, which is amazing, but obviously it's not to me, it's for them. So yeah, they made that about her, and it was just like a really big scene, and she got burnt badly, and she survived it. A lot of people are saying, oh, I think Stephanie's going to die, but she didn't die. She survived it, and they were like cheering her, and then she said that she's not, don't want to stay in the hospital anymore, and they moved her to Texas, as they said in this episode. A lot of people were saying, I wonder how Jo's going to react, because obviously Jo and Stephanie were best friends. Jo and Stephanie were like each other's person, and I think obviously you saw that Jo really, really did miss Stephanie, and she started using Ben and Stephanie like to confide in him, and she was like, she was really, really sad, and Ben's like, you really that sad because the ball's practically empty? She's like, no, because of Stephanie, like, who's going to tell me when I'm messing up? Who's going to tell me I look good? And one of the things she said that is quite memorable for me was, who's going to tell me when I need a shower? I was like, you seriously don't know when you're going to need a shower, Jo? Like, honestly, you work in a hospital. But she said that, and then Ben was like, you do. And straight away she goes, do what? And he's like, need a shower. So, well, she smelled, and she was going, I'm thinking, what are you doing? And then obviously Alex showed up, and they did a surgery together on a little boy. And he had a comic book, and I can't remember what the name of the superhero was, but it was a superhero on this book, and he thought it was Jo, and he was like, oh, is this you? And she's like, and Alex was like, don't blow a cover. It's like Queen something. I can't remember what it was, but it was like, Jo kind of took to being a superhero. I mean, who doesn't take to being a superhero? But it did look like her, I'll admit that. I'm not going to lie about that. I can't remember the name though. Probably won't remember it. Someone will remember it and comment or tweet me. I know they will. So, yeah, that was another really good thing, and they did that surgery together. But another thing that was bothering people was Minute, or whatever her name was. I didn't like her until she left, but she also left last season. She got fired. Eliza, I think her name was Eliza Minnick. And they brought her in last season as well, but it only took a season to get rid of her. I don't think she was that popular, to be fair. I didn't like her to start off with. But everyone is obviously different. But yeah, she lost her job in the show. Her character lost her job, so she obviously had to leave, and what she'd done is she'd got these wannabe interns or something in previously, and they all came into it as she's obviously gone. So poor Webber is left with these interns, and they cannot be taught. One of them was literally had a voice recorder, and she was recording everything that he was saying and repeating it into this recorder. It's like how she learns, and it was really irritating at Webber. And then they watched a trauma come in with April, and one of them fainted and one of them screamed. And it's like, your interns at hospital, you should be used to this sort of stuff. And then he obviously had to move them out, and they caused trouble everywhere in the hospital, absolutely everywhere. They watched Jo's surgery, and they said, as they were doing the surgery, let's watch, what she's doing. And one of them leant over and his glasses fell in. He has a nickname, Glasses, but his glasses fell in, and obviously it contaminates everything, and Jo ended up kicking them out of the ER. which was the OR, which is a good thing, because I didn't like the interns either. But she's also explaining something at one point, and they weren't even listening, they were just taking notes. And Alex complained to her by saying she shouldn't have had to go through that. Why did you put her through that? She shouldn't have had to have them in there. And he was like, I taught both of you and everything, to April and Alex, but obviously that didn't go well. And then he turned around to Bailey and was like, they can't be taught, they've got to go. And I agree, they can't be taught and they should go, because they just can't be taught. Yeah, it was all about girl power and sibling power, because in episode 2 it left it on a cliffhanger where they were doing this Megan's surgery and they couldn't do it because she couldn't close it, she didn't have enough tissue or something left. And then episode 2 they did find a match and Joe ended up scrubbing in on the surgery. But there's also a lot of talk with Alex about Joe, because she slept with the guy that dropped his glasses in her OR, and she ended up confiding in him about Stephanie, and then it was just like she slept with him, and it was just his glasses fell on her too. It's just really weird and odd. But then she told Ben, as in confiding in Stephanie, and Alex was right behind her and was just like, and it's like, whoa, like, why did you not notice that he was stood there? So that obviously caused drama. Then there was like a 3-way scene, and then Meredith was like, she really does like you, because, in Meredith's words, Meredith said, Joe is hot, she can get anybody, and she chose him. She's obviously waiting for you to come back, which is right, but at the same time, one of them's got to admit their true feelings to each other and not to other people. And I actually did mention that, can someone just not tell Joe how Alex actually feels? And Camilla retweeted that last night. So now it's obviously getting likes and retweets. So that was a big thing as well last night. Like I said, it was a whole Joe and Alex thing. It was throughout the entire episode. There was April and Jackson as well, where they've got obviously Harriet together, but they're not together, and I think April wants to be, but Jackson doesn't. And April said to Maggie, which is Meredith's other sister, Jackson really, really likes you, but Jackson was really confused about that, so they weren't talking about it till the end. So that's, again, it's more couple power. They broke up though, which was really sad. And obviously, another thing I didn't mention, DeLuca's sister came into it, which was announced way before, but we knew she was coming into it. She speaks Spanish, like on point Spanish. It was amazing. That was a really good one. And then DeLuca spoke in Spanish back, and you have Arizona, who was with his sister, like, what are you saying? I don't understand any of this. I was the same. But yeah, she came into the hospital to do her study, which was like brains and the human body, like how the brain reacts and stuff. But there's a lot of Spanish talk between those two, and Arizona really, really does like her, which was nice to see that Arizona's found somebody else again. But every time Arizona finds somebody, she loses them, which is really sad. Also, Teddy came back. Teddy's another ex of Arizona. But Teddy came back because for Megan, and gulp in Megan's face about how she shouldn't be doing the surgery because she doesn't know Megan, and she didn't tell the full story, and that time she did. Riggs, that's his name. It's not Hunt, it's Riggs. Megan dated Riggs. But yeah, there was also like Maggie and Riggs were a thing at one point, and she said, you've got to tell them the truth. And I think Megan and Meredith actually discussed it before Megan's big surgery, and they were all okay with it, but Megan doesn't want to be with Riggs because she thinks he's still in love with Meredith, which I think the guy needs to make up his mind, because he broke up with Meredith to be with Megan, but then Megan still thinks he's in love with her, with Meredith, and instead of proving that to Megan, he lets Megan have her decision, and then he goes back to Meredith and is like, I can't be with Megan because she thought it's like I'm in love with you. It's like he's I knew I didn't like him anyway, but the fact is that it's just messing with Meredith, and it's not the best thing in the world, is it, to be fair? So that was another thing as well, obviously, about the sisters. They were all defending Meredith. Amelia and Maggie were defending Meredith, which is really good as well. But one thing that Amelia did bring up was she went with the surgery with Jackson after Jackson told her not to do it. And we thought that was just going to be Amelia's storyline for the night, but it wasn't. Because even though her and Owen were having the issues, Owen went to sort it out with her, but didn't. And he actually turned around and said, you know, you've probably got PTSD from your brother's death. You need therapy. And she was just like, so your sister doesn't like me, and you automatically think I need therapy because your sister doesn't like me. Which, you know, smart move. But then he left, and it is partly that's causing the problem, because one of the things she said to DeLuca was, you know, Owen's sister has come back from being presumed dead. My brother's dead, he's not coming back. And I think that's probably the reason why they connected, because both her siblings have supposedly passed. But now we know Megan hasn't, it's probably thrown Amelia back a little bit. And then Amelia was in the mood to celebrate after completing a risky surgery. And this is where everything just fell apart, in my opinion, for a lot of people, especially me, because what happened was, we'd just seen the whole Joe Lex making up thing where he admitted that he tracked down her husband, he hadn't touched him, he's not going to hurt her. And, you know, they had a make-out session thing. And everyone was thrilled about that. There was tweets going around, like I've said, everybody was tweeting that. And then, it's like in the space of 2 minutes, Sean Mood gets killed. Because DeLuca and Megan were talking just before the Joe Lex scene. They were talking in Spanish. So you obviously, and he was looking at this brain that she was studying, and he was like, whoa, whose is that? He said it's a friend of mine. And obviously nobody knew. But then obviously it's a Joe Lex scene, everyone's happy, and then Amelia comes out from whatever she was doing. She says, now that was nice. And then she looked at the screen, the monitor, and she's like, that's like a really big tumour. Whose brain is that? And then DeLuca's like, it's yours. And automatically, the scene on Twitter from being really high about Joe Lex collapsed to all from that, because all the Amelia fans were like, wait, a tumour? She has a tumour? She's going to die? And I think a lot of people are going to be mad if they do kill Amelia off, because she was a regular on Private Practice first, and then she was a regular on Grey's, and I think it should stay that way because it's Amelia and she's funny. But another thing that made me laugh about Amelia is they were comparing Operation, and you know, she was saying she was going to do it. It's not impossible. What would be impossible is trying to perform an operation on a unicorn. And then there was another conversation, and I think Jackson said, do we have to hunt a unicorn? And she was like, don't hunt unicorns, what is wrong with you? So Amelia is obsessed with unicorns. And for those of you who watch Private Practice, you would know why. It was mentioned that it's her favourite animal growing up, and when she had a baby, he was known as Unicorn Baby, because when he didn't have a brain and he died, but she donated his organs, so he was a unicorn baby because he was helping people around the world with their organs, which was lovely. So, but another thing that was a big thing was his tumour, and obviously we don't know till the next episode what's going to happen, if she's going to, you know, she's a brain surgeon herself, so whether she knows what she's going to do or not, we'll see. I know Maggie and Meredith are like, wait, what you're on about, what's happening? So I think she doesn't tell them, and she has to, because if she doesn't tell them, it's going to go horribly wrong. Because it will. But I think next episode she will tell them, and I definitely Should watch it, even though I'm a bit hesitant about watching it, but I'm going to watch it. I've decided I'm going to. That second episode was directed by, I've forgotten his name, but he plays Owen Hunt. He's the real McKid on Twitter. But he directed that whole episode, episode 2, and it was really amazing. I like it when directors do that, when they let the cast direct their own episode, because it happened a lot on other things. So Pretty Little Lies did it as well. But they're the first one I've known to do a full musical episode, just completely the whole way through. I've never known any other show to do that as of yet. So yeah, that happened, and it was a good episode. Both episodes were amazing. The premiere was really, really good. Twitter was crazy because there was live tweeting as well. But it was only really Camilla, Jessica, and Shonda that were doing the live tweeting. Shonda, the director, Jessica plays Arizona, and obviously Camilla plays Joe. They're the ones that were live tweeting through that whole thing. But I know every week it's somebody different, but I think it was just a really big episode, and a lot of it was mainly happened in the second episode, which is probably why it was a 2-hour premiere, because of the second episode was why you needed to stay hooked, and I guess everybody is going to stay hooked, and Megan's surgery went well as well. So, all well and good, apart from Amelia's tumour, which I don't think I'm still not sure about that one. Anyway, that's better than a reaction video, because I've done this in 21 minutes, and if you'd seen the reaction video, that'd been 2 hours long. And you don't want a 2-hour reaction video of me just watching a show. You really don't. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And in the comments, you should let me know what you thought of the episode. You know, what you think of the main parts. You know, do you like Joe Lex? If not, who's your power couple? And whether you like Amelia or if you don't like Amelia, if there's another character that you like and you're interested in finding more about. Because I think it's more introducing more characters as well this time. Because there's a lot of new ones, like there's every season premiere. So yeah, that's everything for this video, and I guess don't know what the next one will be, but I'll think of a video to do for next time. Bye!